Dad and I were in Florida, trying to kill a man named Janice. But first, we had to find him. A little more than 2 years ago, I'd made a colossal mistake. As a result, I'd taken a bullet to the chest, my dad got arrested, and my sister Ginny got tossed off a sixth-floor balcony. I healed up fine, but Dad drew an 8 to 12 in federal prison, and Ginny ended up in a coma. About 4 months ago, broke and desperate, I was on the verge of losing my thumbs because of a gambling problem. I'd done a job that earned me enough money to erase my debt and, more importantly, came with a get-out-of-jail-free card from my dad. Not just early release, but a full pardon. Never mind that it was my fault in the first place that he'd been sent to prison. Me getting him an actual pardon was a miracle. Jesus turning water into wine. Except it was a bitter vintage. I hadn't been able to get a miracle for my sister. Which is why our dad and Aunt Paulie were able to convince me, as Ginny's healthcare power of attorney, to let her go under the knife. Highly experimental surgery, uncharted territory. Her autonomic nervous system and her swallow reflex worked, which meant Ginny was able to breathe on her own, but that was about it. 2 years since my screw-up had gotten her hurt, and there'd been no change to her state of consciousness, despite every other medical intervention I had authorized. What was there to lose by trying an experimental operation? Everything. Of the 18 patients who'd undergone the surgery before Ginny, half of them had left the operating room as cold bodies, or as the doctor had put it, gone with the angels, which I thought was a weird thing for an MD with a PhD to say, but our surgeon's spirituality didn't seem to faze Dad or Paulie. "Who cares?" Dad said. "And it's not like being dead makes any of them worse off." "Real sentimental of you," I'd said. Aunt Paulie, who was a fixer, a fence, and a shot caller. If you worked on the West Coast, you paid her toll one way or another. Had to have a couple of her goons break us up. Once we were sitting down again, like reasonable adults, Paulie cut through the argument. "We're choosing between a small chance and no chance at all." She was right. It wasn't much of a choice. The surgery had been 3 weeks ago. Ginny had survived. The angels were looking after her, the doctor told us, and gone through the step-down units at the hospital. She was back in her private care facility. As expected, Ginny was still in a coma. Between the swelling from the surgery and the new cocktail of drugs being pumped into her, we'd know if the procedure was successful sometime between week 4 and 8. Past week 8, and that would be an answer in and of itself. Nothing I could do but wait. And go hunting. 2 years ago, after I'd recovered from being shot, I'd gone after all the people who had crossed us, leaving a trail of bodies behind me before finally hitting a literal dead end, even though I still had 2 more people on my list. Janice, who'd set everything up and then betrayed me and Jenny, as well as the unnamed client, who'd commissioned the Paris job and ordered Janice to commit the betrayal.